What's up, everybody? It's your boy, it's Elliot. Welcome back to another take here at Esports with Elrod. And I know my background changed up a little bit. Really, I just wanted to change up the pace and then show off my favorite painting that I have of my dog. And let's go ahead and start out this video. I want to talk about Halo the series, and episode 4 just dropped. And so far, along with the series, if you haven't seen it, Halo has been brought to Paramount Plus with this $50 million budget to produce a Halo TV series. And the first episode was unanimously loved by just about everybody, but it seems like every episode has just gotten slower and slower and slower. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, so you don't have to worry about that, but I really do want to see more action, especially with UNSC versus Covenant. They kind of hint at it, but you really don't see a lot of it except for the first episode. One of the supporting characters in the show, her name is Quan. I think she's like the main antagonist because whenever she shows up on the screen, I just want to turn my TV off. I legitimately can't stand her. If you guys watch the Ozark, she's like Wendy. Anytime Wendy speaks, I just want to put my pillow, like stuff pillows on my ears so I can't hear her. However, I really do like the lore and the take that they're going on with Spartans and Master Chief specifically. I actually kind of like it. And I know that may be a hot take for some people because it's not canon, but it doesn't have to be canon for me to enjoy it. I just really want to be entertained with a good story and good character development, and I'm getting that from the Master Chief, the supporting Spartans, and hell, even Halsey and Cortana aren't bad. And now by the end of the 4th episode, I feel like everyone's just used to Cortana. It was a little strange to see her kind of in a human form, not completely blue, but I'm okay with it. And you know who's not okay with everything going on in their situation right now? Is the Minnesota Rokkrs. This is a Call of Duty League team. Minnesota has this $25 million franchise team, Minnesota Rokkrs, who are just, to put it bluntly, they are not performing to the level that they should be. And their coach, Saint, came out and made a video about it saying, how they're not living up to expectations. They're good on Game 5s and good on Round 11s, and they have the potential to be a really good team. They are just not putting the pieces together.
Hey, Brian Saint here, coach of the Minnesota Rokkrs, and it's no secret that our team has been performing below our expectations throughout the first half of the season. Last year we were pretty proactive on making a change as we did it right in the beginning of Stage 2 when we had a really slow 0-2 start. I think this Stage 2 we started off relatively okay. It was kind of ups and downs where, we had a reverse sweeps, we had some tough series, but we felt like the progress we were making was looking overall pretty good going in the Major 2, but we performed incredibly below our expectations there, so we're going to be trialing things around with our roster and slotting players in from challengers and the pro scene alike to kind of see who fits our current core of players. The way trials are going to work for us is we're going to take players from the challenger scene and the pro scene and kind of just slot them in for players that we currently have on our team and, move the pieces around that we currently have just to see what feels the best and the most organic for us moving forward.
They're not really good at respawns, hardpoint, any of those, other than search and destroy, which they seem to be good at the moment. But they announced to their fan base that they are going to be blowing it up. And they're going to be building a new team, a new roster, strictly by the trials. And I'm not talking about trials of Osiris like in Destiny. I'm talking about trials of putting new pieces in. People like potentially a Clayster, maybe a Scrappy from Ultra. And they're going to put them into the Minnesota Rokkrs camp, see how they gel with the team, and really see if they can't bring Minnesota Rokkrs up to that next level. Personally, I think this is a really good move for Clay. Earlier I said that 100 Thieves and Florida Mutineers would be a really good fit for him, but the Minnesota Rokkrs, that actually might be a really good fit for Clay. And the only two people that I feel like should be safe in Minnesota's camp is Attach, because Attach is one of the best in the game, especially if he just runs an AR. I think that's actually a really good fit for him. And then obviously Spark, he just won the MVP. But I hate it because I like the roster as it is. Major Maniac, I mean, you know exactly what he's going to get. Even Formal gave him a tip of the hat saying that he would want him on his team because it doesn't matter how down they are, he's ready to go out swinging and going to go out on a sword. But all in all, I am very curious to see the direction that they're going to head. And what do you guys think that Minnesota should do? I'm excited to see some of the trial by fire over the next few weeks because I believe the next major, the Major 3, isn't going to be until like end of April, beginning of May. And going off more Call of Duty news, J God, the man, the myth, the legend, the one who breaks down all the guns, the statistical TTK, the real TTK, and gives it to you in a really digestible way, put out a video earlier today, but I was running this last night, about the Bison.
Finally fixed the Bison and increased its damage output by 70%. If you guys were unaware of this, they actually had different multipliers for the left side of the body versus the right side, which we'll check out. But I want to go ahead and explain right here in the patch note. It says, fix an issue with submachine gun echo from Modern Warfare. which is the PP Bison, and then we have causing right side extremities to only take 20 damage or 27 depending on what part of the limb it was hitting, instead of 34. And I talked about this over on Twitter, but even with that 70% increase, it doesn't make it overpowered, but it does make it actually viable, or even top tier viable, depending on how you want to look at it with the different stats. Kind of how the damage profile looked before is if you kind of shot this left side of the body, you'd get 27 to the shoulder, 20 to the forearm, 27 to the thigh, and 20 to the shin. And then if you shot the right side, it was always 34. Now they've fixed that issue, and everywhere on the body is 34, and this doesn't give it some insane TTK, it just kind of brings it in line. These first TTKs, as we can see, they're basically dirt. 1,000 TTK for an SMG at point blank is terrible. And in Rebirth, 828 was atrocious. Now it's kind of brought in line, so if you hit any of these areas that say 34, you're going to do 736 in Caldera and 644 on Rebirth Island. And if you manage to get 2 headshots on Caldera, it brings that TTK down to 644, which is very competitive. Just 2 headshots, a little bit harder to do depending on your skill level. But in Rebirth, you only requires 1 headshot, very similar to how it was when the Bullfrog was added, where 1 headshot and this thing's TTK went off the charts. 2 headshots, it was even more broken. This is kind of a similar scenario that's happening here. You're going to get 552 TTK, which is very, very competitive, especially for how easy this weapon is to use.
How the Modern Warfare Bison got this silent buff, and it may be the biggest buff across all of the guns throughout Call of Duty's history. This gun seemingly got a 70% buff, meaning its movements faster, its killing's faster, it's easier to handle. The headshot multiplier is insane. So if you guys aren't running this gun right now, give it a shot, because I guarantee in the next few days that this is going to get patched and the Bison's going to go back to trash. Unless it was your favorite gun prior, then, you know, to each their own. And ending out today's video, we got to talk about Oxygen Esports. Oxygen Esports owned the Boston Breach, which is another Call of Duty franchise team. And they have secured $20 million in investments. $20 million! That's a lot of cheese. So I want to preface the question to you guys. What would you guys do if you had $20 million? I'll give you my first 3 things that I would do. First off, I would start a rainy day fund. You never know when life's going to hit you and you're going to need to take some time away, possibly go on a vacation, medical reasons. You just can't work and can't earn money the same way. You need at least 2 to 3 months of just earnings in a safe and easy to get to area where you can get that cash quickly. Even if it's in a bank account or something, just something super liquidable so you can get the cash out. The second thing I would do is pay off all my debt, or at least all the big high interest credit card debts, my vehicle loan debt, all of that stuff. That way I'm literally saving 10 to 20%, depending on some of these high interest rate credit cards and high interest rate accounts. They could literally charge you 10 to 20% annually. So by paying off that debt, you're saving 10 to 20%, just like that. Lastly, what I would do with that 20 mil, whatever left of it, is I would put it into a safe contractual wealth vehicle. This is something that is going to give me a guaranteed return in a certain amount of time. Something that can give me like 10% every 3 months. And you may be thinking, Elliot, 10% in 3 months, there's no vehicles, there's no product, there's no policies that do that. To that, I would say, shoot me a DM and let's you and me talk, because that is how I make my living professionally. I help people not only physically get themselves to a healthier place, meaning lose some weight, trim the edges, maybe help in between the ears, but now I'm also helping you in the wallet, helping you guys get your money together and then getting that money to work for you and grow faster. I'm not talking about putting into a stock market, into any type of bond. If you put it on a bond that grows 6%, which is crazy, most of the time that's 2%, and inflation currently is 8.5%, if you put it in something that grew 6%, but inflation is 8.5%, you're technically losing 2.5% of your money. Like, that just doesn't make sense. All the traditional ways of how people would grow their money just is no longer working anymore, and what got you to a certain spot is not going to take you to that next spot. So, if you would, shoot me a DM. You can see all my socials down below, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next one. Peace.